and welcome back. The other day I read an article in New Scientist which was about the placebo and the nocebo effect. And most people know about the placebo effect, where you're told that something is good for you or you're given a tablet, but it's not a tablet at all and you feel better. And there's something else that's called the nocebo, and that's when you're told that you might get ill or there might be a problem and you begin to feel those effects. So one of the examples they gave was when people were given a placebo, they can actually feel the side effects or exhibit the side effects which are negative, which is a really interesting thing. And it got me thinking about how much of our well-being is primed. How much of it is primed by what we see on TV, read in magazines, hear on social media. So I wanted to share with you a couple of examples of real things, my experiences, when I had no preconception, no prejudice about something, and yet there was an effect, and that was a real effect. So the first one was when I started beading, okay, and I did a little bit of training. I learned how to do it properly, and one day I was beading and I suddenly listened to my body. I listened and realized I was in a really flow moment, very meditative, and my pulse had come down, my breathing was deep, really, really relaxing. And I suddenly became aware of this, and I suddenly realized I was listening to my body. I was aware and mindful, and I didn't realize where that had come from. So I started to do a bit of research, and I found that beadwork, for some people, for many people, it can provide this kind of relaxing, meditative relief. And some hospitals recommend doing beadwork to children and adults when they're recovering from operations or cancer or any trauma. So that was illuminating, because I had not known that before I started doing beadwork. As it happened, I was going through some difficult problems at work. It was very, very stressful. And suddenly I found this release, this relaxation, and be able to be grounded as well. And I had no prejudgment about what beading could do for me. Now, beading isn't for everybody. Some people find it very difficult to bead, whether it's the dexterity or eyesight, or they just prefer to do something else. That's fine. But that really worked for me. And the second experience I found was when I listened to my body. At a certain point in my life, I was really hankering after a particular food, and I suddenly then started listening to my body again and thought, I wonder what's in this food. It's not a superfood, it's just a food. And then I was to discover it had some particular chemicals in it that were good for a particular part of my body. And then I discovered, yes, there was a problem with that particular part of the body, which I could deal with. But it was all about listening to my body. I had absolutely no precognition, no prejudice about what that food was or whether it was good for me. I knew I just wanted that food. So there's a little bit of what you fancy does you good. And so how is it that we can listen to our body? Well, sometimes it's really difficult. When you're under stress, you just don't want to hear your body. You don't want to hear your body saying, well, I've got a sore back today, or I've got a problem that we really must fix. And that's really the time when you really must fix it. So I'm just going to ask the question, has anybody out there had a similar kind of experience where you've had no precognition, no prejudice about taking up an activity or doing something, and it had a positive effect on you? So it was real. So it wasn't made up. It wasn't primed, nobody told you it was going to be good, but it did you some good. And I'd be really interested to hear about your positive experiences. And it is really hard to listen to your body, not to other people's or to social media, in this age when we are bombarded with lots of information. Some of it is very, very good, obviously, but it does prime us. So let me know what your experiences are, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.